In case you don't know what color guard is, it's the little flag people with the marching band that go out there during halftime. So that's what I did. But a firework went off in the background and my ears would literally ring, so I couldn't even hear the music. I don't know how I made it through the show, but I did. So yeah, a little. Do what? What'd you say, Ray? Okay, all right, ready? All right, as the tears began to slip from her eyes, she felt a firm grip on her elbow. Don't, said Rachel. Do not cry. We're going to get him. Say it with me. We are going to get him. We are, said Emily. He's pretty handy, isn't he? Aren't you, or are you good with machines too? I guess so. My dad taught us all sorts of things. Then we'll need a little motor and a lot of fishing line. What are we going to do with it? Tell me, said Rachel, with a mischievous grin spreading across her face. What's your brother's favorite thing in the world? So why is Rachel showing a mischievous grin? What does mischievous mean, or mischievous, if you say it that way? Number 16. What does mischievous mean, and why would Rachel be showing a mischievous grin on her face? What do you think that means?
I don't know.
You want to take a crack at it?
Yeah.
No? All right. Noah, and then Johnny.
What? So, or mischievous is basically trouble. Like, basically, like, Maggie in trouble.
Okay.
And it's obviously a smile. Basically, she loved the Grinch because no Christmas. And, so she's doing it because she thought that she was gonna prank Andy, and she didn't want to see the look on his face when he got pranked.
Okay, yeah. So you said it's kind of like the Grinch when he stole Christmas, that big old grin, right? And he's up to no good. So we know that maybe they're up to no good. Very good. Good observation. Johnny, what were you going to say? You want to take a crack at it? Are you sure? Okay. Well, I'll let you try the next one, okay? How about that? Yeah? All right. Yeah, so mischievous means like you're up to no good. You're like, what can we do? What can we do? Just like when Noah said, compare it to the Grinch when he's ready to go steal all the Christmas trees, right? Yeah, very good. All right. So, she seems like she has a big plan for revenge, all right? It was an hour before Mom let Rick out of the basement. She was furious, but she was so confused and upset that she didn't even know how to punish him yet. Go to your room, she said, from the top of the basement stairs. Why? He asked. What happened? I was down here the whole time. Wasn't I, Andy? I want you to pay attention to that phrase. I was down here the whole time. This is important. All right? Pay attention. Keep that phrase in the back of your head. Okay, so why would Rick say this? Number 16. Huh? Oh, did I already call you? Okay, you wanna try it? Johnny, you wanna try this question? So why would Rick say, I was down here the whole time?
Oh, he's being sarcastic.
Being a little sarcastic, right? He's like, what do you mean? Like, I was here the entire time. I didn't leave the door. I didn't go out the door to the kitchen, right? What did we talk about earlier? What was the thing we said he used to make his plan happen? What did he find? It starts with an L. You said it earlier. What was it?
A loophole.
A loophole, right? He found a loophole. He crawled out the window instead. He didn't go through the door. Keep that in mind, all right? Go to your room, she said, from the top of the basement stairs. Why? He asked. What happened? Or wait, I think I read that already.
Yeah.
Sorry. Andy didn't say anything. He was too smart to get involved in family fights. So he slipped out behind Rick's mother and went to wait for his father to pick him up. Mom stood there, jaw clenched and face red. Just go to your room, she said. Go. Rick whistled quietly as he walked into his bedroom, pausing in the dining room to inspect the scene of the carnage. In his head, he began imagining the way he would write this down in his journal of nasty tricks. Never before, he thought, has a birthday party been so thoroughly ruined. This one will go down in history. At the table, Emily and one of the other girls from school, Rachel maybe, sat quietly. They said nothing to him as he passed them by, whistling just a teeny bit louder. So what does this one will go down in history mean? Number 11.
just remember it for a long time.
Yeah, so he's gonna remember it for a long time. So when things go down in history, it usually means these are big events that people will never forget, right? Yeah. If you'll ever go back to the Christmas songs, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you know the ending line, you'll go down in history. Everybody knows Rudolph, right? Or at least most people, right? You'll go down in history. Well, he was the only reindeer with a blinking red nose, right? All the other reindeer had regular noses. He was different. He was the one that made the biggest impact, so he went down in history, right? All right. So, when I read this, I'm visualizing his journal oh wait, whoops, sorry. Gave you a little sneak peek of the next part. Whoops. So, he opened his bedroom door and found everything just the way he liked it. Clothes are piled on the floor, dirty cups and bowls were all on the windowsills, and his journal was just where it was supposed to be hidden, behind the bookshelf by the door. So again, we're showing how messy he is, right? He's not very organized like Emily. As he reached for it, he heard a whirring noise, and the journal jumped away from his hand. "What the heck?" he said. He grabbed for the journal, but it jumped away again, slipping across the floor like a gecko. Someone had tied a string to it, and the string was connected to some unseen machine. He chased the journal across the room, into the hallway, and down the stairs. It gained speed as it was dragged into the dining room. He took the corner too fast, slipped on a piece of cake, and watched helplessly as his life's work was dragged through the gobs of icing. So when I read this, I'm visualizing, this journal just literally jumping out of his hands. Literally, like, imagine I have my pen right here, pretend this is my journal. This is what I see. Right? Pretty easy, right? And when I see this book jumping out of his hands, I see, who's seen fishing line before? Anyone go fishing in here?
I do.
So when you have fishing line, my fishers will know this. It's that like teeny tiny little like transparent line, and it's kind of shiny. That's what I see attached to this book to kind of pull it away. So think about that. Think about what you see when this scene happens, all right? "Stop it," he said. "It's getting icing all over. Emily, stop it." Emily said nothing, but Rachel allowed herself a tiny smile. Why is Rachel smiling? Is this the same as that mischievous grin? Number 9.
Yes, Mom. She's like, she feels accomplished with herself because she got him back.
Yeah, she feels accomplished. She feels satisfied she got him back. She's like, haha, you get what you get, right? Karma, what goes around comes around, right? That's what I think. Now, is this the same as that mischievous grin that we saw earlier?
I think so.
You think so? That's what I see too. That's what I see too. A little evil grin. All right. By the time Rick was on his feet again, the journal had been dragged into the hallway. He chased it all around the first floor, from the kitchen to the living room, and back one last time into the dining room, where he slipped a second time. He followed the book into the den, but didn't see where it had gone. Finally, he heard a crackling sound and saw his journal burning in the fireplace. It was already too late to save. Rick burst into the dining room, face red with icing and rage. "You," he said, "you destroyed my journal. You. You played a terrible trick on me." "I don't know what you're talking about," said Emily, as she licked the icing off of her finger. "You can ask my friend Rachel. We were here the entire time." So there's that phrase again. So, number 5, answer me this. Why would this phrase, "we were here the entire time," be important? What information would you use? What information would you use to support the connection between Rick and Rachel's use of the phrase, "we were here the entire time"? And how does this maybe connect to the overall theme? Number 5, you'll just take a crack at it, and then I'll let everybody else answer. Who's number 5? Allie.
So,
Why is that phrase important?
because she tried to almost like mock the way that he did, because he tried to play it off and say like, "Oh, there's no way I could have gone out of here because I was
Yeah.
here with Andy the whole time."
Yeah.
So she was trying to play it off like how he did. So, like, oh, I was here with Rachel the whole time, wasn't actually doing that.
Yeah, exactly. She played the same trick Rick did, right? Found, what was it called? The L word that we talked about? A loophole, right? Yeah. So, Ray, do you have something to add to it? Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else want to add to it? So why would you compare, or what connection would you make between Rick and Rachel's use between this? And how would this connect to the overall theme of the passage? We just said it's kind of like mocking, right? We kind of mock what Rick did. So what would the overall theme of this be? Yes. Goes around, comes around, right? Is there another word that you could say for that? It starts with a K.
Karma.
Karma, right? It's karma. You don't do to others what you want done to yourself, right? Very good. So my last question, and we'll do this in groups, and you'll do this at your tables. What do you think could be changed to improve the outcome of the story and its overall meaning? How would you rewrite something in the story to improve the meaning of it? So, talk amongst your tables and come up with a solution. What would you think would be good to improve this? Fox, you need to wake up, buddy. You gotta talk with them.
Don't even eat anymore
Alright, 5 more seconds to think about it. 5 more. 5 more seconds. Just, yeah, what can you do to improve it over? Would you rewrite it? Alright. So now, I want to hear from one person at your table what you all came up with, okay? So my back table over here, what did you come up with? What would you do to improve the overall meaning of this story? Would you change anything? And if so, what did you do?
I would say
You don't want to change it. It came across pretty easy for you guys? Yeah. Okay. So again, what was my overall meaning for the text? What was my overall meaning? So Rick played a trick on Emily, and then Emily and her friend played the same trick back on them, right? Mm-hmm. What would you call that? What is it? A turnover? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, a turnover. Like, oh, haha, look what came back to you. Again, that's karma, right? Yeah. My next table, what'd you come up with?
maybe if Emily hadn't gotten revenge on Rick and like she's really mad at him and stopped doing that because not hugging him, maybe Rick would realize how bad of a thing he had done and kind of be like character development.
Yeah, character development. Very good. So maybe if she just realized that, yeah, that was a really good guess. Very good. Very good. All right, my middle table right here.
If like instead of like her being in there whenever it got lit in the fire, it showed her throwing it in the fire herself.
Oh, so it shows her throwing it in the fire. So maybe you jump to the conclusion right at the end, right? Now in that case, it wouldn't give us a loophole, but she'd be like, hey, your journal's right here, right? Throw it in the fire, but she wouldn't be able to use the phrase, what? I was here the entire time. So you got to that conclusion a lot faster. But yeah, very good. Yes.
We thought it would be funny if the mom was recording it.
Oh, that would be funny. Very ironic. If the mom was recording, because he did play a prank on his mom before, right? Rick did play a prank. She made her, what was it, 2 hours late to work?
That was Dad.
Oh, that was Dad?
It was Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, it was the Thanksgiving dinner. He unplugged the oven, so she thought Thanksgiving dinner wasn't going to be ready. How funny would the table have turned if she recorded him and was like, hey, I caught you doing this, right? Very good. My corner table.
it just,
Did it kind of jump all over the place for you? Yeah, so, yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so, maybe a little bit more details, right, to help you get to the point a little bit faster. That would help. So what details would you add to it? What details would we add? What would you like to know?
Some more stuff of what he wrote in his journal other than
So maybe some more tricks that he's come up with, Nora?
I would do more detail about how Rachel and things set up.
Yeah, maybe kind of figure out how did they come to that conclusion with the motor and the fishing line, right? Yeah, I agree. Good job. All right, my last table. What did we come up with? The book? What about it?
Bad one.
Oh, bad luck. Okay, so what about bad luck?
Different word for karma.
A different word for karma? Okay, yes. Karma can sometimes deal with bad luck. Do we have any details that you may want to add to that? No? All right. Those are all really good guesses. All right. So for my next activity, we're going to go ahead and do the slides really quick. You'll do this on the board. This will be in your groups.
Are we doing group class?
I'm just going Alright, so really quick, we're going to do, since we're a little pressed for time, we're just going to do 2 slides. I'm going to do the first one with you, and then you'll do the second one in your groups together, okay? So for this first one, this involves textual evidence. Again, we need textual evidence for our inferences. So what evidence can you use to support the phrase, she was a nice enough sister? Okay? So work together in your groups and try to find any evidence you can see showing, this is clearly about Emily. I'm sorry, I forgot to point that out. This is about Emily. Work together in your groups for a couple seconds to find evidence as to why Emily was a nice enough sister. And we'll come together. Take a couple seconds. Take a few seconds. Make sure you're talking and working together. Come on. Make sure you found it. Okay. Share it with your group and talk about it. Make sure you're working together, guys. Very good. Make sure we're working together. All right. Let's come together really quick. So, my back table, what did we find? If you have the same answer, that's fine. Go ahead and still say your answer. Okay, so what did we find?
She was a nice enough sister because she helped do the dishes. She kept out of the room and a long car trip to let him sleep in the morning.
Yeah, so she was a nice enough sister. She let him sleep on car trips. She did his dishes, all that stuff, right? What did we find here? Did they say anything? So what was that quote?
She liked helping do the dishes and it says she was a nice enough sister.
It says directly in there she was a nice enough sister, right? Very good. So, my middle table. Even if it's the same, read it out loud.
She was a nice enough sister. She helped him do the dishes. She kept out of his room and a long car trip. She let him sleep in the morning.
Yeah, she let him sleep when he wanted to sleep. That's nice. Very good, yeah. My second middle table.
Right there, how you think it is Emily. She was a nice enough sister. She helped him do the dishes. She kept out of his room and a long car trip. She let him sleep in the morning.
I like that you added Rick didn't have anything against her, right? So that kind of helps prove that she really doesn't do anything to really mess with him. That's a good one. Yes.
Whenever after the prank when Emily started crying and Rachel was like, we're gonna get him back, she was like, we are. Like she was questioning it. She wasn't like gonna plan on getting him back.
Yeah, good observation. So, you know, she was kind of shocked that they wanted to get revenge, right? That kind of helps prove that she's a nice person. She's not trying to think about getting revenge. That wasn't really her first thought. She was just upset her party was ruined. Great observation. He said that Rick was planning this, right? He went through with the thing. But then Emily was shocked to get to the revenge portion. Again, like I just said, all her first thought was to cry. But she didn't even think about being mean. She didn't think about that. My last table, what did we come up with?
She helped with dishes. She also
Yeah. Yeah, good use of textual evidence, yes. So, will you go ahead and put the next slide? You're giving me a high five? Yeah, so she helped him do the dishes, she kept out of his room, and on long car trips, she let him sleep when he wanted to sleep. So she does a lot for him. And I love the observation earlier, what Noah said. I didn't even think about that. But she was, again, just shocked that anyone could even think of revenge. So her first thought was not some malicious intent. It was, oh my gosh, my party's ruined. I'm sad now. That was it. All right, can you do the next one for me? So, she liked to be orderly and she liked everything in its place. What can we infer about Emily? Talk to your groups and think about it. Talk to your groups and think about it. What can we infer about Emily? What can we infer? Work together. Make sure we're working together.
It's like my mom
Ten more seconds.
She doesn't like
All right. Let's start on this side this time. Let's shake it up a bit. Yeah. So what can we infer? All right, coyotes. So the FBI quote, yeah, that's good textual evidence. So what can you infer about Emily based on that? She likes everything in its place. Very good. My next group. She might have OCD. That's very good. I have OCD. I like things to be very quiet. Produce, quiet coyotes. I have OCD too, so I can relate to that. I like things to be orderly. And when something's out of its place, it drives me crazy, right? Yeah. My next group.
She needs everything to be neat and in place.
She needs everything to, again, yes, be neat and in its place. Very good. My middle group. OCD? Okay, very good, very good. Over here.
She's a very neat and clean, organized person.
Very neat and organized person. Yes, yes, very good, very good. She's a neat and organized person. My group over here. What'd you say?
Same thing.
Same thing, so which one? She's what?
She's just like a neat person.
Yeah, she's a neat and very, very clean person. Can you go ahead and hit the next slide? Emily is very organized, or clean, or neat, whichever way you want to say it, or even OCD. All right, one more slide, and then we'll do our exit ticket. Whoops. Why can we infer Rick is messy? Use textual evidence to support your answer. So talk about it with your groups for a couple seconds, and then we'll do our exit tickets. Do what? Yeah, I do have the same name. Good observation. Maybe I am a lady. No. My brother's name's Carter, though. Yeah, I have technical Carter. Oh, really? No. All right, talk with your group. Okay.
That's the clearly correct answer.
Well, I'm a girl in my room. Couple more seconds. He is He's not a clean heart. All right. So, before we get started on the next part, tell me your things. Okay, so, Johnny's table, what did you come up with? Good use of textual evidence. He likes things to be on the floor, crumpled up paper. Very good. My table over here.
Derek was known that he was a messy kid. He had a vegetable covered in dirty clothes, crumpled up paper. Like his music loud and his parents.
He liked his music loud and his fireworks louder, and he didn't like things to be in place. Very good. My table right here. What did we come up with?
His floor was covered up in dirty clothes and crumpled up paper.
Yeah. So again, floor was covered in dirty clothes and crumpled up paper. Very good. My middle table.
Since he was a messy kid, he liked his bedroom to be covered in dirty clothes and crumpled up paper. He liked his music loud and his fireworks even louder. And surprises were his favorite thing in the world.
And surprises. Ooh, good. And surprises were his favorite things in the world. So he likes things. Did you say he's lazy? Yeah, that's a good observation. He could be very lazy. He just doesn't want to pick up. But yeah, fireworks he loves, and he loves surprises, right? Surprises can be messy sometimes. Good observation. What about over here?
He was like the opposite of Emily, who's unorganized and stuff. And it's so he liked his bedroom to be covered in dirty.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's really good. So they said that he is the opposite of Emily. He likes, obviously, his dirty clothes to be on the floor, crumpled up paper, and he's just very messy. Whereas Emily is neat and organized. My last table. It just said he was a messy kid. So what details can you use to support that he's a messy kid?
He liked his bedroom being covered in dirty clothes.
Good. That would be your textual evidence that he likes his bed covered with dirty clothes and crumpled up paper. So, those are very good answers, and this activity kind of shows you the importance of using textual evidence when you create these inferences. It's important to give off those details in order to prove why you can infer something about someone, right? So like if I ate like sour food and I made a face about it, what could you infer from that? If I went, ooh, what can you infer? I don't like the food. How do you know that? What if this was on paper, what would be my textual evidence?
She made a sour face.
She made a sour face. Exactly. Very good. All right. So your exit ticket before we go to lunch is this. You need to find 2 sentences within the text, and I want you to write them down, and when you do it, you'll write quote, and then we could say like, Rick liked crumpled up paper on the ground. Okay, he liked crumpled paper on the ground. I don't think this is an actual line, it's along the lines of one. Okay, you'll put your quotes around it, make sure it's the full sentence, and then you're gonna create an inference from that sentence that you drew out. You'll do 2 sentences. So here, I'll write my inference under. Rick likes crumpled paper on the ground. Well, I can infer that Rick is messy. Okay? Please write complete sentences. Do not give me 2 words. Write complete sentences with correct punctuation and capitalization. All right? I want 2 sentences pulled from this text, and I want you to write your inferences underneath each sentence. Not under all of them, just under each sentence. So here's sentence 1, answer. Here's sentence 2, answer. Okay? Does everyone understand?
Yeah.
Okay, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much. All right, I hope you guys have a good lunch in case I don't see you when we turn these in. But again, this is your exit ticket, so hand it to me or Miss Erickson once you leave, okay? Thank you guys.